Welcome back, everyone, to game 40 of a First Book of Morphy. We have a new middle game rule number 6. All combinations are based on a double attack. We have Napoleon Marash versus Paul Morphy with the Evans Gambit. So this time, the Evans Gambit gets played against Paul Morphy. So let's go ahead and go through the game. So let's go ahead and go to the Evans Gambit position. Here, white goes e5, and the author comments that this is a mistake in a very well-known position. Essentially, what e5 does is gives up center control. Castling was a better move here in this position. Next up, we have d5, so black counter attacks in the center. E captures d6, queen captures d6, and then here we have castles by white, and here the author mentions that bishop a3 was a better move developing with a threat, right? So here bishop a3 targets the queen, and now the queen has to move, for example, maybe bishop a3, queen g6, and now white has prevented black from castling, so white castles, knight g to e7, and rook e1, putting pressure on e7 here. Again, so white castles. Next up, we have knight g to e7, preparing for bishop a3. Now, if bishop a3, again, queen g3, and then now this knight are defending each other, right? So next up, we have knight e7, then knight g5. Now here in this position, bishop a3 is still a threat. I know that the bishop and knight are attacking g5, but knight g5 really doesn't do anything, right? Because black is going to castle, and then this pawn is defended twice by the rook and the knight. So I'm not sure what white is thinking here. Now, if a knight sacrifice here, I don't think it works out, right? King takes, and then queen h4, and then king goes back to g8. So let's go ahead and play this. Castles, and then takes, queen h4, king back to g8, and then now maybe bishop g5, right? Again, black just goes knight to g6 and defends. He's going to bring the queen out, bring the knight over as well. The bishop can come in here as well, and then white is just down a piece. So there was really no threat here with knight to g5. So black castles, bishop goes back to d3. Here, the author mentions that white is playing poorly. Black increases his lead in mobility by developing with an attack. Even though it entails a sacrifice of rook for his bishop. So now here, let's look at how many pieces black has developed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And white has only 2 pieces developed, 2. So white takes, black recaptures. And now bishop a3, queen g6. And now in this position is count again the development. 4 versus 2. So white wastes a move. Again, white is being greedy in material, but it doesn't know the idea, the concept of time, right? So white goes for material, and now black does this on purpose to capture on g5, and now here again, this is gonna force white to use another turn, another measure of time, another tempo to retreat his bishop. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the bishop is really not in the game. So 1, 2, 3. The knight can go in to help with the attack. And instead of developing a move, playing a developing move, white is going to retreat the bishop. So we have bishop a3. Again, d captures c3, a powerful capture. White's knight is restrained from entering the game on d2. And black has prepared to develop his last piece with a threat. okay, which is the rook, right? So now black is preparing rook d8, attacking the queen. Bishop c1. So white now decides to attack the queen with the bishop. Again, it looks like it's a little too late for this. Queen g6, bishop f4, rook d8, again threatening the queen. Queen c2. Again, knight c to d4, threatening to capture the queen, and also black has a fork on e2, right? So if, let's say, queen c1, then here we have a fork. Right. So white goes queen e4, and here we reach the position from the thumbnail. Again, let's go over the middle game rule. Middle game rule number 6. All combinations are based on a double attack. So go ahead and pause the video and find the move for black that wins the game. I'll go ahead and pause the video, give you a few seconds. All right, so the move here is knight to g3. Again, black has a discovered attack to the queen and threatens checkmate with knight to d to e2, right? So if queen takes, then we have checkmate here. The knight guards the square. If white takes a knight, then white loses the queen. So in this position, white resigned. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap of the game here. And let's go look at here where white went wrong. Here's the first mistake from white. Here, this is just like a normal developing move. Develop with a threat. Bishop a3, move that white missed. Knight g5 doesn't make a threat, and that's a move that also white played and missed. Right here, white could have also still played bishop a3, and that's a move that missed. Bishop c4 is not under attack. Maybe it developed, right? Another developing move. So here, maybe knight to d2. Bishop a3 is still another move that white can play. Getting your queen out to c2. So another developing move. Instead, white moves the bishop again. White decides to move the bishop again and capture. Black captures by moving the knight forward to e5. Now bishop to a3 and queen g6 attacking the knight. White has now moved the bishop, light square bishop twice. Queen g5. So now you have two pieces here in the attack. The knight can come here. Now you can go to h4 most likely to help with the attack. So here, instead of developing, again, white wastes more time by retreating the bishop. And now this pawn captures, prepares the rook to get in the game with a threat. And then here, again, queen c2 is not good because now white gets a free move. Knight d4 and attacks the queen. And here, this just falls, white just falls into the tactic of knight to g3. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you thought of this combination of this game, and I will see you in the next video.